All right, and what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. No video today. I'm actually moving, so all my office equipment and all that stuff is actually packed up. So I won't be in the office recording this in video. I am in my office though. But what a wild game! Utah was able to pull off the win at Oklahoma State, and weird game because if I would have made this video, 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the game ended, it'd be a much different video. It was a win where we pulled ahead big, and last second they almost came back. Kind of scary. It was, you always felt like we were going to win, but it was scary for a minute there when it did get close. But either way, really good game for Utah. Big statement win for Isaac Wilson. There's a ton to talk about, guys. We're going to dive into all of it. Before we do, smash the like button. That'll help get it out to more Utah fans. Also, comment down below. What are your thoughts on the game? I want to hear what you guys are thinking. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, share the video with a friend. Outside of that, let's go ahead and dive in. Go Utes. So, as I foreshadowed to before, with less than 6 minutes left in this game, the score was 22-3 with Utah up big. And then out of nowhere, a lot of it was fatigue. Our defense was out. It was a long game. Eventually, you're going to let up some plays, give up some, scores here and there. It happens, even the best defenses. And eventually our defense, cracked a little bit where it was like, they started to find some matchups and see some success. But I'm gonna say this. I hated how that ended at the end, where they really did almost come back, considering how much we were way ahead of them, and we just needed to close out the game. I didn't like that it got so close. But let me give a huge shout out to the defense today. Just a wildly good game. Seriously, guys, that was very, very impressive. I thought a bunch of guys had great games. Teo Johnson, I mean, damn, dude. That targeting call where they wasn't targeting, they threw it and then they pulled the flag back. This guy hits like a truck. Whoever noticed him and said, hey, he should play safety, shout out to them. And I'm guessing it was Morgan Scalley, because he looks so good. It looks like the position he was made to play. I couldn't be happier about it. Another guy that deserves a big shout out is Lander Barton. Multiple times today I saw him smack someone in the open field and make a play. One of the first games where I felt like I consistently saw him making plays, so that was good to see. Van Fillinger, another good game. He had a sack. He had a tackle for loss. Looked like a really good player. There's a lot of shout-outs. Also, Jonathan Hall laid the wood on a few guys real well. On those last couple drives, smacked Alan Bowman, smacked one of the receivers that caught the ball. Even in those late drives where Oklahoma State was starting to come back, our defense was making them wish they were not on the field with us. You could clearly tell who the tougher team was today. And I don't think there's any question about that. It's not in contention at all, right? So a lot of good performances. Honestly, the defense as a whole played really well. But moving over to offense, Mekhi Bernard, right? Holy crap. 25 carries for 182 yards, 7.3 yards a carry with a long of 62 yards. The best rushing game in his career. He is tracking to be a special player this year. It feels like multiple games now I have had to mention his name as someone that really played a huge factor in winning us the game. And this is another one, guys. Without Mekhi Bernard this year, I don't know what this season looks like right now. Like, it could look very different. This guy has stepped up. He has made a statement and looks awesome. I could not be happier. Another guy, big shout out, Dorian Singer. Dorian Singer, 7 catches, for 95 yards, almost 100 yards. And had it been a more competitive game where we needed to throw more in the fourth quarter, I do think he would have broken 100 yards. Bailed Isaac Wilson out of a couple bad throws. I mean, just Dorian Singer has been Isaac Wilson's go-to guy, and I love to see that because it makes me happy to see us using Dorian Singer. I know the first two games he wasn't a huge piece of our offense, and now he has become that, so that's really good to see. And then kind of to touch on the number one storyline of today, Isaac Wilson, literally game time, all the beat reporters for Utah are talking about how Cam Rising is going to start the game. You turn on the game, you're watching the game, and the first drive, Isaac Wilson comes out, and they're like, I'm sure you guys are just like me. You had to check your eyes for a second, like, hey, is this real? But it was real, and Isaac Wilson came out, and he had an up-and-down game. His stats are 17 for 29, 207, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. And I would describe it as this, right? The stat line does not tell the story. It wasn't an amazing game for Isaac. It really wasn't. But I thought he made some good plays. So, for example, those rollout throws, the rollout rushes, he also had 41 rushing yards. So, in total, almost 250 yards. He had a lot of third down conversions where they asked him to make the play, and he made the play and looked good. The interceptions were bad, right? That sucks that he threw the interceptions. But I would say it really, watching the game, that's not the story of his performance. I thought he looked good. I thought he really came out there, was leading the offense, and looked ready to go. And this is a kid that is a true freshman and just went to Stillwater against the number 14 team in the country and pulled out a win. I posted it on Twitter, guys. This was a statement win for a guy that could be the future of our program, right? This was not a game. If I would have told you Isaac Wilson was in, or if the media and everyone would have known, the predictions, the projections of what would have happened today would have been much different, especially from outside our fan base. They would not have unanimously expected Isaac Wilson to win this game for us. And I bet almost everyone would have picked against the Utes. But the kid goes out there, he shows up, and he just does an awesome job. Seriously, very, very impressed with the kid today. And I'm excited to see what his future holds. So offensively, a bunch of great performances. I really liked what I saw. And defensively, seriously, we actually had a really good game. At the end, they started doing better against our defense. But overall, they went 19 for 44. What is that? Let me pull out my calculator. That is a really low completion percentage. So 19 divided by 44. Yeah, 43% completion percentage. And there was a time in the game where it was 30% midway through the fourth quarter until they had that one nice drive. And overall, our defense really played lights out until the very, very end of the game. They kept us in the game the whole time and took a lot of pressure off Isaac. The rushing game for Oklahoma State, 15 carries, 48 yards, 3.2 yards per carry. I mean, really, really impressive performance today. I was super happy. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. I think the team looked physical. We looked mean. We ran the ball well. We defended on defense. We did a really good job. We almost broke 5 yards a carry today with 4.8 yards a carry. I know that's a line Witt looks for. But really good game overall. And Isaac hooked up with Brant Keithy for a touchdown. That was cool to see. So ton of great stuff, a ton of positives, and a lot to look forward to, guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Before we get out of here, smash the like button. Comment down below. What did you think about the game? Anything you guys want to touch on that I wasn't able to touch on? Another thing to comment on is what's going on with Cam. Why? I mean, how long? What's this timeline look like? Oh, you know what? One thing before we get out of here, guys, before we end the video, I am going to talk about one thing. We did it yesterday, or last week against Utah State. We went to an away game against a rival. It was a G5 rival, but it was a rival. And we won with our backup quarterback by 3 scores. And today, we went away to one of the tougher stadiums in college football to play at, which, everyone seems to agree with that leading up to this game, Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater. and had our backup quarterback, and we won. And yes, we only won by 3 points, but let's be real, the vast majority of the game, that was not the case for the game. We were up by 2 to 3 scores for, a quarter and a half towards the end of the game. So I think the rankings, I just want to touch on this. They need to respect that. There is absolutely no chance we go into, I mentioned this last week, and this is I wasn't even factoring in that Isaac would have been the starter. Not only do we know that we are a very good team and went in and beat the number 14 team in the country, the number 3 passing offense in the country, and held them to under 250 passing yards. Half of those yards were late in the fourth quarter. Not only did that happen, we did it with our backup quarterback. So this shows that we can win big games without Cam Rising. And with Cam Rising, imagine what the score would have been today, and imagine what the storylines would have been today. I'm expecting us to be a top 10 team next week. I'll be very surprised if we're not. And I think there's a realm where we're creeping into that top 8. So I would love to see it. I want to know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I am out of here. Share the video. Go Utes.